What's going on, guys? Today we're talking about a brand new set of wireless earbuds from Soundpeats. Maybe it's a company you've not heard of before, but trust me, it's a brand that you need to know as far as the inexpensive wireless earbud game. These guys are consistently punching so far above their weight class, it is not even funny. And today that might get to a new level of ridiculousness. We're looking at the Soundpeats Engine4 wireless earbuds. They are $49.99. However, there are some coupon codes to be thrown on and a discount code in the description, which gets these things down to, I think, $42. What makes these so special for $42? Well, for one, they have high-res audio. For two, they have dual drivers as well as dual connectivity. That means they can be paired to two devices at once. And again, they're only going to be $42 with all of these deals. So, with all that being said, let's jump into that unboxing and see what these things are like in person. Okay, so we have the Soundpeats Engine4 wireless earbuds. As you can see here, they have LDAC, which is high-res audio. That is really, really cool to see on a set of really inexpensive wireless earbuds. Like I said, dual driver design, noise reduction for calls, 43 hours of playtime. I'm assuming that's 43 hours in both earbuds and the case as well. Nothing too interesting there on the back. Let's go ahead and get these out of the box if that's possible. So we've got our instructions on one side, which I will probably need to just remember the controls on the Soundpeats. They are not typically customizable, so we'll need that just to remember things. And then here are the buds themselves, and I can already tell you one thing that I like about this. As I set it aside, it does feel relatively small, although that looks glossy, and I'm not a big fan of glossy. We've got our ear tips in that bag, and then this should be a USB A to C cable in that there. Let's set all this box stuff aside and dig into the buds themselves. Now, yes, that is definitely a glossy case, which tends to be slippery and fingerprinty. I hope that's not too much the case here, although I bet it's going to be. Yeah, already getting some fingerprint smudges on there. Do not love this case, Soundpeats. It doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't look good to me. But it's not super duper big, right? I think I've got my Link Buds S here, yeah, in my pocket. And you can see a comparison here. They're relatively similar in size. So good job on the size. I just don't love the finish. Let's pop them open. And the earbuds themselves have quite the unique look. They've got this sort of textured thing going on. I actually think that these look fairly nice. They're not super small. Like, I think these are going to stick out of my ears pretty far, but they're definitely a unique look. And this is interesting. So this area right here that's going to kind of be inside your ear is sort of a softer touch material. It's not rubberized. It looks like it could almost be rubberized, and it's still hard, but it's like slightly more grippy. And then we have some like transparency going on this part of the bud. It's a very interesting design. These are very unique looking. Let's see how easy they are to put back into the case. Looks like they fall right back in, but we have a problem that a lot of Soundpeats earbuds have for me. They're just hard to get out of the case. When they're small like this, there's not much to grab a hold of. They're kind of slippery. You really have to pinch them very hard to get them out of the case. I wonder if I can tilt them out. If I push on one side, that doesn't really work so well either. This is another thing that I really wish Soundpeats would work on, is just making them easier to get out. Maybe a twist. Grab and a twist. That seems to be the easiest way to do it. That's not so bad. So if you try and pinch and just pull straight out, you're likely to kind of have them slip. But if you twist, I think they're okay. Some people think I'm crazy for hanging on this stuff, but usability is really important. You pull these things out of your pocket and you want to get them out and into your ear without dropping them. And when they're hard to get out of the case, that's easy to do. And these things are kind of slippery. So, you know, if you're the kind of person that is bothered by that, these are not the easiest in the world to actually get out of the case. Now, let's go ahead and pair these things up to the phone and see what they sound like. There's also the Soundpeats app, which we're going to need to download as well. All right, we're back on the Pixel 7 Pro, and everything is working just fine. We're gonna go ahead and upgrade the firmware on these things. Optimized acoustic parameters. Let's go ahead and get that going. Okay, so the firmware update has been completed, and you can see that it is showing the charge of both earbuds. Let's go into our settings here. Volume control, adaptive EQ. You've got your presets, and of course you can customize your own equalizer, which is fantastic. Game mode, and then dual device connection. One thing you're not going to see on here is active noise cancellation, because these are some of the first Soundpeats buds I've reviewed in a while that do not have ANC. These seem to be focusing on that audio quality with the dual drivers and LDAC, trying to bring that to a cheaper price point by omitting active noise cancellation. So we're gonna have to jump in to first the fit, and then we're gonna find out how these things sound. So in terms of fit, still struggling a bit to pull these things out of the case. That is definitely annoying. Stop making these things so slippery, make them easier to pull out of the case. Let's pop these things in. These are the standard ear tips, but that tends to be a decent size for me. I've got a pretty good seal going on, obviously no ANC or pass-through, but like I said, they're sealing pretty decent, and you can see here how they look actually in the ear. They're not the smallest earbuds I've ever seen, right? They are quite visible that they are in my ear in particular in comparison to something like the Link Buds or something like that. But I think overall they look okay at this point. Now we need to jump in and listen to a whole bunch of music and report back. All right, so I've spent the last several minutes playing a whole bunch of music through these guys and even comparing them to my Sony Link Buds S, which have been my daily carry for the last good while now. And these things have mostly exceeded my expectations by a good margin. These things sound very, very good. And for what you can have right now, $42 set of earbuds, or, you know, top end price $59.99, they are pretty phenomenal. I totally get what Soundpeats is doing here. They are cutting some edges, right? So there's no in-ear detection. When you pop them out, they're going to continue playing. There's no ANC. There's no pass-through. But those dual drivers, LDAC, that is a legitimate thing. So I started off with their basic preset. I think it's called Soundpeats Classic, and it is slightly bass heavy. Nothing quite like the Earfun earbuds I reviewed the other day, which were really bassy. These are only slightly tinged towards the bassy, kind of warmer toned side. But I think out of the box, they already sound fairly decent. However, you can, like I showed earlier, customize your own presets. So that's what I did. I dove into Teenage Dirtbag, was the first song to listen to, just because it's a very dynamic song. There's a lot of different things going on, and I dialed in my preset a bit, and what I ended up doing is actually boosted the mids just a little bit, and I boosted the highs just a little bit. I left the bass alone just to kind of balance things out, and what I ended up with was a sound that I was very, very happy with. I think that these things are fairly punchy. They are quite detailed. There's a moment in Teenage Dirtbag where you can hear someone's finger slide across the guitar strings a couple of times as they're changing chords. I believe it's in the second verse, and I think it's only in the left channel. I had never noticed this before, and I'd listened to the song many times in the past, but I noticed a new detail with these, and that is impressive because, again, these are inexpensive earbuds, and they are so detailed that I'm hearing things I wasn't hearing in other sets of much more expensive earbuds. In another song like Quick Escape off the latest Pearl Jam album, the bass has a really, really nice detailed tone. You can hear just the right amount of crunch, and when the chorus starts to kick in, these things really continue to blow me away. To be totally honest with you, and some people are going to think I'm insane because I've heaped so much praise on my Link Buds, I think that these things sound better than my Sony Link Buds, and in some songs, it's not even close. By comparison, these just sound kind of tired. They sound like they're lacking that punch and energy that the Engine4s actually come through with in spades. These things are so detailed and crisp sounding, while, you know, that slight customization on the equalizer has allowed them to remain relatively balanced as well. These things have blown me away, guys. So let's check out the dual device connection. You can find it in your settings. You can enable it there, and that will disable LDAC. So you'll lose just a little bit of audio quality by doing this. But once this is done, what you need to do is go to the device that you are originally paired to and turn Bluetooth off. That will send these guys back into pairing mode. And then back on the secondary set, or the secondary phone, I should say, that you're going to be pairing to, it should pop up again, and you should be able to pair to it just fine, which we have now done. And at that point, you can turn Bluetooth back on the originals, and we should now be connected to both. So let's go to our music player on both. We'll hit play. And that is working. Now let's play on the other ones. And that is absolutely working as well. So multi-point pairing working exactly as you would expect right out of the box. Although I am actually going to turn that off because I prefer having LDAC instead. The controls are fine as well. You've got a fairly large area to tap on to do different actions. They're about as accurate as any other wireless earbuds like that. I actually just sort of play music from my phone by doing that. So you can see they're relatively sensitive. I always have issues with these things missing and just not quite behaving correctly, which is part of the reason I like the Link Buds, because the controls are very, very simple and they seem to work really well most of the time. These are fine. They're very, very average. I do wish they were customizable. Soundpeats still does not give us the ability to just make the controls be what we want. And so because of that, you have to kind of learn what they've put in there, which I don't necessarily love. But again, it's definitely not a deal breaker. So what you are hearing now is a microphone test, audio coming directly from the Soundpeats Engine4. If you are on a phone call or something like that, this is roundabout what you should expect the person you were talking to be able to hear coming from these earbuds. Overall, guys, I am quite impressed. I think I've made myself fairly clear what these things are good at. If you're looking for outstanding audio quality for a low price, you don't care about ANC and some of those other frills, maybe that multi-point pairing is very important to you, these things are going to be an absolutely incredible buy. Big shout out to Soundpeats for sending them over for me to test. As usual, no money changed hands for this review, and no editorial input was given to Soundpeats for this video either. If you'd like to purchase these, there will be an affiliate link in the description as well as the pinned comment down below with a coupon code to take that extra money off to get these things down to, I think it's $42. You're going to use that code as well as clip this coupon on the screen, assuming all of this is still here. There it is, 10% right there. And there's a 20% coupon on there as well. So you can use that one or the code I'm going to drop, whatever you want to do, and save even more money on those earbuds and help support the channel by using that link. Guys, if you want to see more content just like this, subscribe before you go. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.